Henry A. Murray was an American psychologist. He created the thematic apperception test. It was based off of Rorschach's inkblot test. Instead of ambiguous, non-identifiable shapes like the inkblot test, Murray used vague black and white pictures. The theory behind the test is that when you observe human behavior, either in real life or in a picture, you interpret the behavior based on the clues that are available. But if you have a vague picture without clear clues, then you tend to pull from your own life experiences. You expose parts of yourself, your fears, fantasies, conflicts, etc. I decided to give this test to 5 people I know. Here are their stories.
This image depicts a domestic dispute. The female did something to upset the male, and now she is longing for his forgiveness. I bet she was caught flirting with another man because she is far more attractive than he is. He may be insecure because he realizes that she appears desirable to others. Clearly, she seeks attention from him, as well as forgiveness. He will forgive her because he knows he can't do any better. He just needs to make her need him. They will continue this vicious cycle of him trying to cut her down to keep her from leaving him, and her trying to win over his affection. The second image depicts a grown man awkwardly lurching over a young girl crying. He may have done something inappropriate to her. She is making a scene in public, so he is backing off, but still paying attention to her as to not draw negative attention from others. He is keeping distance between them because he doesn't want others to be suspicious of his involvement with her. She wants him to go away, or wishes she could run away from him as she is turned away from him. She will grow up confused with her relationship with men, and he will continue a double life as a functioning adult with a deep, dark secret.
The husband, Henry, is feeling happy about what he just did, but he knows that what he has done is going to upset his wife, Mary. For over a year, the dog Bagel, that they owned, though Henry really felt like it belonged to Mary, has been a nuisance to him. Bagel would cozy up to Mary every night and bark during his TV time after a long day at work. Every night, the dog would make noises and sleep in their bed and move continuously. He began to hate the dog more every day. He was tired and grumpy and drank more and more. On his way home one evening, he saw Bagel, the dog that made noise and ruined his life. He says to himself that he loves Mary and wants to make their life better. So he sees himself sleeping through the night and feeling relaxed. Better again, if he could only get rid of Bagel. On his way home, Bagel looks up at him on the street before he reaches the house. He has very little time to decide to hit Bagel or swerve. He knows he's going to make the right choice for him and Mary. He hits the dog with a thump, backs up, and hits him again. He feels good about it. He knows he's going to make him happy again. He returns home to tell his wife he found Bagel on the street, hit and dead. He feels relief, an odd feeling of taking control of his own life by taking another. He pretends to cry as Mary consoles him ahead of her own grief. He is totally alien to his feelings as shown by the eyes in the picture. They give his life story away. They live happily ever after. In a small town in America lives a man named Richard. He is a decent and thoughtful and all-consuming when it comes to his daughter Rebecca. He lost his wife years ago to sickness and thinks about her every day. Their daughter was born blind. It was a great loss to Rebecca to lose her mother, who was home with her and taught her every day to learn and survive the best she could without sight. Richard and Rebecca fell into a routine. Rebecca attended school and her father worked hard. One day, when her father came home, he found her crying outside the house. He asked her why. She would not talk, just cried. She went on for days this way, not talking. Then she told him that the boys down the street drove by on bikes, surrounded her, and made fun of her, and hit her with their bikes. Richard felt sick for his daughter and thought about the incident. He went to the homes of the boys, talked to the parents, and told them what he wanted them to do. They agreed. The boys came over and apologized to Rebecca and lied to her. At first they felt silly and stupid, but as days went on, one boy took a liking to her and continued their friendship through middle school, high school, and on. They eventually married and had 2 healthy children and lived their lives out.
The woman in the photograph was this man. She's holding him as if they are dancing. She wants him to say as if he's leaving, but she's willing him to stay. Maybe a discussion, a confrontation, or a disagreement. seems like she's dancing with the woman, could be posing or as if she's exiting the room. She pulls him close, as if to calm him down, to hold an embrace. The second story. A father and a son sitting on a beach side by side. They're on a family vacation, simply a moment together. The father is looking off into the distance, reflecting on his past, present, and future, reflecting on life in general. The son, who I'm clearly seeing myself, is disconnected with his father, and wants to connect with him in some way. The outcome? Unsure. Some continues to yearn for father's affection. Again, only seeing my own life in this picture.
This is a gangster man, has secrets, does jobs on the side, leads a dangerous life. At this moment, he had just gotten back to his girl. They made passionate love all evening, then were summoned to a social event, one where she thought she was going to be able to spend more time with him. She didn't even want to go, but knew that she had to be a well-behaved mistress. She must be there by his side and be cordial. People, noise, drinks, men talking business, quietly sipping whiskey on the rocks, smoke lingering in the air. He is exhausted. His life is full of activity that lights up his soul, and he revels in this. Exciting exhaustion, living on the edge. She wants him so badly. Every second she tries to be as close to him as possible. Then he says he has to go, tie up some loose ends with the other men. Piano playing in the background, it makes for a dramatic parting. He looks over as he's being summoned. She holds on to him for dear life. Look at me, she thinks. I want you, don't leave me now. Kiss me. But he leaves anyways. And the two of them revel in the throes of this romance in life for as long as the youth will last them. In this photo, the two are actually strangers. This little girl is lost or has hurt herself. The man stands a little further away from her than a dad would, a safe distance to comfort her crying, but not to scare her or make her uncomfortable. I believe this man passed this area and the girl was crying out. He felt like he had to help, but didn't really know how. The girl is scared, lonely, lost, hurt. But I think in the end, the girl's rightful owners find her, kindly thank the man, and everyone goes about their merry way. No harm, no foul.
The man in the picture is leaving the woman. This woman is in a wedding gown. It is her wedding day. The true love of her life, the man in the picture, has decided to leave her life so that she can live a full and happy life with her soon-to-be husband. She's holding tight to him because she knows she is losing the actual love of her life. They met while the woman was engaged to her fiancé. They started a torrid, passionate affair, but this man, he was a gypsy, a wanderer. He could not give her what she really wanted in life, a stable home, family, and children. So he knew he had to pull away from her. His last goodbye was the day of her wedding. The woman in the picture is 50-50. The content look on her face is because she knows him leaving is the best thing for her, but her grabbing onto his shirt shows the need and want for him to stay. Eventually, she gets over him. She marries her husband this day. She thinks about the man from time to time. That time of passion and excitement in her life is a good memory to look back upon. She has 4 kids and dies happy with her husband by her side. She never heard from that man again. The man is trying to console his child. The young girl in the picture really misses her father. He meets her at school and walks her home. Since her parents are divorced, it is rare for the girl to see her father, since he lives a couple towns away and he works a lot. All she wants is her parents to be back together. She feels lost and sad. The father feels guilty, sad, not good enough. He tries her every time she sees him because she misses the way things were. Life goes on, both parents remarry. The child grows up, but since she had such an absence of a father figure in her younger years, she has become promiscuous and distant. She moved out of her mom's house as soon as she turned 18. She gets by waitressing and selling pot on the side. She knows she lives this way by what was lacking in her childhood. Eventually, she becomes pregnant and stays in an abusive relationship. Her dad, on the other hand, will send her money once in a while, but never gives her the emotional support she needs. He has his own life with his new wife and 4 kids.
This test is criticized for being invalid and unreliable, yet it remains to be one of the most used psychological tests used by therapists. It is rare for a therapist to use it as a diagnostic tool. Instead, it is used to open up lines of communication and enter psychological domains that would have otherwise remained hidden.